So you're saying that you're afraid to go to jail, so you don't want to take care of them, but look where you are, because you didn't take care of them.
Yes.
And so it's been, let's see, you're supposed to have been here November of 2022 on your possession charge and driving while license suspended, and you ignored that, and apparently you just have money to waste because that there went $250. That was forfeited.
I'm very sorry. But as you bring up these things to me, I'm kind of realizing maybe I didn't change enough.
All right, let's go on the record in the matter of the City of Wyandotte versus Angella Vargo, 232257.
Good morning, Your Honor. Good morning. Your Honor. John Goldport, P 30758 on behalf of Ms. Vargo. Ms. Vargo, would you please put your name on the record?
Angella Vargo.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Stand here so she can see you.
Angella Vargo.
All right, and
Just
counsel, as to the arraignment.
Your Honor, as to, I'm sorry, file 232257, Ms. Vargo is charged with operating while license suspended, as well as civil infraction of an unsafe vehicle, I believe it was. She would stand mute to those charges, waive a formal reading of those charges, and ask the plea of not guilty be entered on her.
All right, and so the court will waive the formal reading, enter plea of not guilty for purpose of the arraignment. Schedule this matter for pretrial on, because she's in custody, I have to do it on October 31st because we're not here on the 7th. And then that puts it to the 14th, and since she's in custody, I have to go sooner than later. So I know it's short turnaround, but October 31st at 10:30 a.m.
Your Honor, would it be possible, if bond is granted, that we could move it later?
We can check on that, but I don't know that I don't know what the bond is going to be at this point,
Okay.
other than I'm pretty sure it won't be a personal bond, given the fact that she has warrants out for her arrest that she failed to appear on. And so,
We'll just do it on 30.
okay, so on that note, as to the 222047 A and B, where there have been warrants issued, the court will recall the warrants, and as to that arraignment count.
Thank you, Your Honor. On that particular matter, Your Honor, she's charged with operating while license suspended, also possession of narcotics. She would waive the formal of those charges, stand mute to the charges, and ask the plea of not guilty.
The court will recall the warrants,
And call. Thank you, Your Honor.
wait for more reading, enter plea of not guilty, schedule this matter for pretrial, October 31st at 10:30 a.m. Counsel then as to a bond.
Your Honor, as the court pointed out, the warrants on the October 4th matter. We're asking for a return to a personal bond with respect to this matter. I understand there are outstanding warrants, and she also understands there are outstanding warrants in other communities. She's employed. She has, I believe, other than outstanding warrants, no other. I mean, she hasn't taken care of things. That's why. Everything else is driving or of that nature that I'm aware of. She did post a bond originally, which was forfeited when she did not appear back in October of, I believe it was October 15th. As I indicated, she's employed. She knows she has to get these matters taken care of, particularly if her driving problems, because she keeps driving and she keeps getting charged with driving on a suspended license. She was coming from work this last occasion, and I'm assuming based on her track record and her employment that that's what was occurring on the first event. We're asking for a personal bond, or at least a minimal bond that she can make in the area of $1,000 cash Actually, $1,000, 10%. I believe that if $1,000, 10% is provided on both of these matters, then she will be able to make that and will be able to defend herself.
All right, well, your client's license is revoked because she had 2 alcohol-related driving offenses within 8 months. So she's revoked. Ma'am, where do you work? Oh, I'm sorry, then she had a third 2 years before that. So she's revoked.
Okay.
Where do I work?
She works at Struby's Yard, Southgate.
Okay, and why have you not taken care of your other matters, ma'am?
I really would love to, and I'm not trying to make excuses. I'm just actually very scared to like do any jail time or stuff like that. And I was trying to make payments on at least one of my things at one time, and then they wanted me to pay for my other ones, and it just got too hard. But I would like to fix them.
So you're saying that you're afraid to go to jail, so you don't want to take care of them, but look where you are, because you didn't take care of them.
Yes.
And then you're apparently continuing to operate a motor vehicle and you don't even have a valid license to do so because of your behavior.
Honestly, I don't want to do that either, and I don't do it for any personal reasons or like to have fun or anything. I do it only specifically for work, and I hate doing it. I really do.
Then arrange for rides. Arrange for rides. And so it's been, let's see, you're supposed to have been here November of 2022 on your possession charge and driving while license suspended, and you ignored that, and apparently you just have money to waste because that there went $250. That was forfeited.
I'm very sorry.
And who do you live with, ma'am?
It's just me and my daughter.
And how old's your daughter?
She's 8.
So where is your daughter now?
My mom was watching her last night when I was at work, so she still has her.
And if you were to test today, ma'am, what's in your system?
Test today? You said test?
Yes.
Marijuana and probably alcohol from last night.
Do you have a valid prescription for marijuana?
No, I do not.
The fact that you have a revoked license because of 3 alcohol-related convictions on your record within 2 years. And how old are you, ma'am?
24 year old.
24. You just turned 24.
Yes. Also, if I can add something, I know this is probably just sounds like an excuse to you, but during those times, I was going through a lot. I was just getting out of an abusive relationship. I had just lost a really good job. And on that same day, I got my first DUI, literally the day I lost that job. And I've like done a 360 on my life besides fixing my warrants, which feels impossible. I've completely changed since then.
Ma'am, I hear what you're saying, but you haven't, because you have 3 alcohol-related convictions, which tells me that you have a problem with alcohol consumption. And yet you were drinking again last night while you were at work and using marijuana at some point, and then you were driving. So
I didn't
you haven't done a
realize
360. You have not done a 360.
You're right. You're right. You're right. I didn't mean to say that. I just meant I have changed a lot since then. But as you bring up these things to me, I'm kind of realizing maybe I didn't change enough.
As to 222047 A and B, based upon your failure to appear previously, the court's going to indicate a $5,000 10% bond. The $2,500 10% bond or the $250 bond you previously posted, apparently you didn't need that money. Maybe the $5,000 10% bond, maybe that you'll need. In the event you post bond, you're not to be released on alcohol tether through the Wayne County Jail. Not to possess or consume the alcohol or drugs unless prescribed. As to 232257 A and B. $5,000, 10% bond based upon your failure to appear on the previous matters, your failure to comply with court orders, alcohol tether
Your Honor,
through the Wayne County Jail.
if she's gonna make the one, is it necessary for the second one, because there's an additional charge? We're just asking for, obviously, the 5,000, 10% on the one, but, didn't do order with the tether, but it's just being redundant and additional cost to order a tether for the second case.
The tether is concurrent with the other tether. It's not multiple tethers.
Okay,
I'm just indicating that that's also a bond condition on this matter. She won't have 2 alcohol tethers and 2 costs. It's concurrent with
that's all I was.
the other one.
That's what's trying to confirm that.
Yes. All right.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. We'll see you back on Tuesday.
I'll explain it to you.
Several days later.
And we are going on the record in the matter of the City of Wyandotte, excuse me, first, Angella Vargo, 222047A and B, and City of Wyandotte versus Angella Vargo, 232257A and B.
John Gold, P 30758, on behalf of Ms. Vargo. Ms. Vargo, would you please put, on both matters, Ms. Vargo, would you please put your name on the record?
Angella Vargo.
All right, thank you. And today is the date scheduled for pretrial of these matters, counsel, and as to the pretrials.
Your Honor, with respect to the case 2047, A and B, Ms. Vargo was charged with driving while license suspended, as well as possession of a controlled substance. I've spoken to Ms. Vargo. I've also spoken to the prosecuting attorney. It's my understanding, with respect to that matter, that the people would move to dismiss the driving while license suspended, and Ms. Vargo would plead guilty to the possession of a controlled substance. This plea would be taken under the city ordinance of, I believe it's 25.136
B.
B. I've explained to Ms. Vargo her constitutional rights, and more importantly, I've explained to her, well, more importantly, but at times I believe this, what 25.136B means. If she successfully completes a probationary period set by this court, then the charge of possession of a controlled substance would be dismissed. She understands those constitutional rights. She understands the meaning of the charges, and she also understands that there would be, if she did not successfully complete the probationary period under the statute, there would be other driving sanctions. However, we anticipate and hope that will not occur. With all that said, Your Honor, she wishes to take a plea on that matter. With respect to file 232257, in that matter, she was charged with driving against a license suspended and an unsafe vehicle. The people would move to dismiss the driving while license suspended in return for a no operator's license on possession of no valid operator's license charge, and they would dismiss the unsafe vehicle with a taillight. Understanding all of that, Your Honor, as well as the administrative sanctions, etc., it's my understanding that she also wishes to avail herself of a plea in that matter as well. Is that correct, Ms. Vargo?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and for the record, Ms. Vargo is on Zoom because she's in custody in the Wayne County Jail. And ma'am, you can see and hear your attorney, correct?
Yes.
Mr. Gopal, you can see and hear your
Yes, I
client.
can.
All right, ma'am, please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear from the testimony about to give this matter be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
All right, thank you. And ma'am, you heard the plea that your attorney placed on the record, correct?
Yes.
Okay, you can put your hand down, thank you. And as to the 2022 matter, possession of controlled substance, how do you plead?
Guilty.
As to the amended charge on 232257A, the fail to display, how do you plead?
Is that the no operators thing? I'm
Fail
sorry.
to display a valid license, yes, how do you plead?
Not
That was
guilty.
the matter.
I'm sorry.
I'm not sure what words I'm supposed to say. I haven't really done this a lot of times.
Ms. Vargo, the matter that you were arrested on last week, the driving while suspended on a license. We discussed this matter and people are dismissing one of the charges and reducing the driving while license suspended to no operator's license on possession. Is that correct?
Yes.
And so the court was asking, how do you plead to the no operator's license on possession?
So I do guilty.
Yes.
Yes. Guilty. Sorry.
All right, and so, ma'am, you've gone over your advice and rights with your attorney, correct?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you understand all of those rights?
Yes.
You also understand that by entering into a plea that you'll be waiving some of those rights, specifically your trial and appellate rights.
Yes.
And you also understand the possible penalty as a result of your plea, whether in this court, any other court or administrative agency.
Yes.
And knowing all that, you still want to continue with your plea.
Yeah.
Is that yes?
Yes.
Has any immigration issues, counsel?
No, Your Honor.
Has anybody promised you anything, threatened you, or coerced you in any way for you to enter into a plea?
No.
And counsel, if you'd like to please body your client.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Vargo, back in October 4th of 2022, you were operating a motor vehicle in the city of Wyandotte.
Yes.
And did there come a point in time where you came into contact with the Wyandotte police officer?
Yes, sir.
And did there come a point in time where they asked you for your consent to search your belongings
Yes.
in the car? And did you give them that consent?
Yes.
And while they were searching your backpacks, did they find your identification, your wallet, and a container with some mushrooms in it?
Yes.
And those mushrooms were a controlled substance, weren't they?
Yeah.
And you knew they were there, correct?
Yeah.
And with that said, defense satisfied.
The court is also satisfied the plea is knowing, voluntary, and factually accurate. And you already established that she didn't have a valid license, correct?
No, we haven't got that because that was on the other case.
Oh, that's right. Okay, go ahead. So that's the case number 222047B.
Yes, sir. And now, Ms. Vargo, on October 25th of 2023, were you operating a motor vehicle in the city of Wyandotte?
Yes.
And at the time, did there come a point in time when you came in contact with the Wyandotte Police Department?
Yeah.
And when they asked you for a valid operator's license, were you able to give them one?
No.
That's satisfied.
The court is also satisfied the plea is knowing, voluntary, and factually accurate. The court will accept your plea to the amended charge on 232257A. And counsel, I'm going to set both of these matters for sentencing. I'll just,
That's what you're right.
yes. And I'm going to do November 15th. You're back that day.
Yes, I.
Yes, I know, I'm telling you, you're back that day.
Okay.
I already looked.
Okay.
All right. And then the court will indicate bond and conditions are continued. And ma'am, you should be getting a phone call tomorrow for sentencing somewhere around 9:15 or 9:30, I think.
Okay.
All right, thank you. We'll see you back on November 15th.
Thank you.
Sorry, I have a question.
Okay,
If I'm in jail, they're still gonna be able to call me, right?
they're calling you into the jail. Yes.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
That's what time did you say?